All right, welcome to Sportwrap with Ashwin Betty. Now, yesterday on my way to the gym, I was lucky enough to spot Namibia's Richelieu Eagles playing at Trusco Sports Field, and what a result they managed to come up with. And we'll get into that and more stories as we start off with the hit list. Now, Papua New Guinea had to chase 382 runs for victory versus Namibia yesterday, putting up a gallant performance despite the mammoth task. The visitors ended with 333 runs for the loss of all wickets in just 46.2 overs. Playing in front of their home fans, this was the Richelieu Eagles' first victory in the ICC Cricket World Cup qualifier playoff against PNG. Now, Namibia batted first, scoring a massive 381 for 8 in 50 overs. This is the highest ODI score by Namibia and the highest ever by an associate country. Now, after a disappointing announcement that his fight against Australia's Luke Boyd was postponed due to a last-minute injury, Philippus Energy Nghitumbwa will now face an even tougher opponent as he heads to the Philippines to face John Rio Casimero on 13 May. Now, Nghitumbwa will defend his WBO Global Super Bantamweight title against Casimero. Now, this is the title he held from 2012 to 2013 and the former IBF flyweight champion and WBO bantamweight world champion from 2019 to 2022. Now, the acclaimed opponent, Nghitumbwa's promoter and head trainer Nestor Tobias of MTC Sunshine Promotions, said they were excited to secure such a high-profile fight for the boxer. Zoom In is up next after the break.
Muscle and joint pain should not be the reason you can't perform at your best. It also shouldn't be the reason you miss that important deadline. Or miss those precious moments that matter the most. Norflex Gel penetrates through the skin, numbing the area and relieving pain and inflammation. Norflex Gel is now available in the pharmacy aisle and in supermarkets. New Norflex Gel Fort is available for stronger anti-inflammatory action.
Beat the pain with Norflex Gel.
Hey, don't worry about the car, boss. I checked nice.
Thank you, but it's okay, ne? F&B Insurance. Checks nicer.
No.
At F&B Insurance, we provide cover for all your valuables, from your car to your laptop to your phone. F&B Insurance. You value it, we cover it. T's and C's apply.
Now, heading into Zoom In, the Khomas Athletics Federation will be hosting an athletics championship this coming weekend. Sportwrap caught up with coach and organizer Letu Hamola to tell more about the event.
Coach Letu, welcome to the Sportwrap show. I'm sure there are big events coming up, and one of them is the Khomas Athletics Championship. Well, can you just tell us more about this event, where it will take place, and who will be involved?
Okay, first of all, before I talk about the Khomas Champs, I want to pick up the cricket team and our brave warriors, proudly wearing the shirt for their good performances, beating the 5-time African champions from the whole athletics family and from the region. We wish them and the technical team the best further in the competition, and to the AFCON, we are behind them fully. The Khomas Champs will be on the 1st of April at the Windhoek Independence Stadium. We're starting early in the morning at 8 o'clock, and when we will be ending, our last event is at 5 minutes to 9 in the evening. It's a lengthy program because normally the Khomas Champs was only for seniors, but this year we have decided to include our juniors as well into the competitions because they rarely have competition outside their own school competitions. So which means that we have under 17s, under 19 divisions. And it's also their last chance to qualify for the African CAA African Championships, which starts on the 29th of April in Lusaka, Zambia. It's close to home, so we hope to see a good team of Namibians competing there. And then we are preparing our team for the National Championships, which is on the 15th, 14th and 15th of this month, of April. So which means that in those championships, and then we have also The theme of this championships is "We Are One." Why we're saying we are one is that we have IPC, it's an IPC sanctioned event, so which means that it's an ideal opportunity for our para athletes that did well in South Africa just the other week to come and compete and improve their rankings if they want to qualify for the Paris Paralympic World Championships. And then we have the World Championships in Hungary. So which means that it's a full calendar and it's an opportunity for Namibians to compete and vie to be the best in the region.
So the Khomas Athletics is organizing this event. Are there any sponsors on board that are making sure at least that the event is funded, or is it?
Okay, first of all, the event is in collaboration between the Khomas Athletics region, and then we have the government on board through the Directorate of Sports, specifically the Khomas region under Mr. Katuo and Mr. Timo Chongarero, and then also we have some support. We know 2 weeks ago we had the Governors Cup, so we also have their support. And then we have got the KSSR, which is the Khomas Region School Sports Region. So they are also on board with us. And then the Namibian National Paralympic Committee. That's why we are saying we are one. Regarding sponsorships, we have received some sponsorships of kind, but they wish to be silent. I'm not so much in favor of that, but they said it's their responsibility to assist and create that opportunity for Namibians. But of course, most of it is the little bit that we get from our membership that we're trying to host this event. And the sponsorship, of course, we have a little bit of sponsorship from Toyota through the International Paralympic Committee.
Okay. Coach, when you say Khomas Championship, does this only mean it's only Khomas athletes, or it's the countrywide?
Yeah, of course. As I said, this is an IPC sanctioned event, so which means that all para athletes from across the country will come and compete. And we have opened it up because competitions are few and far. We are sitting in a privileged position that we can host these championships. But however, there are some regions that are still growing at this moment of time, and they would not be able to pull the same amount of athletes like the Khomas region can. And we have opened it from every person. As I said, that every opportunity is a chance. Not everybody will get a chance to go and compete in the Golden League Continental Championships in Gaborone, Botswana. And not everybody can go to the bronze continental competitions in South Africa. So, but it's an opportunity for athletics to see that this child, this junior, this youth, the senior, even the masters, you can also come and run. So,
all right. Speaking of competitors, do you have confirmations of the interest and all the athletes that have confirmed that they will be part of this event? How are the numbers looking?
Yeah, the deadline for the entries was 12 o'clock midnight last night. So which means that we are now, the secretariat is now busy putting up, and then we'll have an engagement later this afternoon to see about the numbers. But however, looking at already last week, Friday, we had a significant number of athletes. But of course, there are interesting events on the cards. You look at the 100 meter for women, the Ndawana, Joanna, Hanganenis, so on. We know Andre Retief will be competing in the hurdles. We know last year that's when he made his breakthrough at this meeting when we saw interesting 400 meters. Then we have the 100 meters for men. We have seen a bit of youngsters that are coming through from the group of Mr. Buota and so on. So they will be taking on Gilbert Hainuka, who is African Championships finalist and a Commonwealth semi-finalist. So it's their time to take the throne away from him if they want to. So there are interesting events on the cards. We also know that most of our athletes are currently in correctional services training. So unfortunately, we can't see Dam and Arno taking on one another, but hopefully they will not become friends in the correctional services, but come back as serious competitors when they come here.
Yes, yes. You mentioned the correctional services, and that's one thing that I was actually going to follow up on, because we do have a couple of athletes that were actually doing quite well that have joined the correctional service. So how big of a mess will they be towards such a competition?
Of course, for us, we are all preparing for the championship, the Olympics and the Paralympic Games in Paris 2024. That's the bigger picture of it. So, which means that for me, it's better that it's now out of the way and they can compete, and hopefully we can see them at the nationals. That we'll put some arrangements in place to at least see them so that they at least continue to compete. That opportunity exists, so they are not completely lost. But it brings joy to us to see that a Namibian child, his talent allows him to get an employment within the government sector. So we see where Hilaria, them are, and all of those that are in the National Defense Force. We see Shipekapora, them in Nampol, and so on. So that we are taking each other's hands for athletes to know that this can bring a lot of meaning to them and their families. So which means that for us, we cannot be more grateful to what NSC is doing for them. So which means that they are not lost to Namibian athletics. Of course, we'll miss them because I mean there's high profile and they took the best of the best. So we'll have to live with that. But they will come back better and stronger.
Coach Letu, one of the current topics is about testosterone levels and all that. When hosting an event of such nature, how complicated does it get when you probably have an athlete displaying some of those, I don't know whether we should say it's qualities or, I mean, in the African context, I'm sure it's qualities. How complicated has it become?
Yeah, I mean, it saddens me to speak about this topic from different grounds because number one, we are talking about African children, Namibian children that have brought joy to many households when they were lighting up the track in Tokyo and on the circuits again. Namibia has had a dormant period on those international circuits, and we saw our very own champions coming through and carrying our flag high. But of course, not everybody is always happy with when you are achieving those things and so on. Because number one, we must remember that these are children. They are not adults. They are not my age or your age. So we need to ensure that we take care of their psychological, emotional. We give them that support as in Namibia as a whole, and that we support them. And it's good that of the outcry that has been there. But there is also another section to it that we that are in leadership positions. I think to be straight and frank forward that we have failed them in the case that we have been resting on our laurels as if nothing would come, because this thing started already in 2009 with Caster. There is Jeanette Nengesa in Uganda that they have done terrible things to. And it's not good, and it seems that it is only the African child that is here. So it's important that we gauge ourselves as Namibian, because I think we have enough experts in our country. Frankie was serving in World Athletics. We have Beans governors that were serving at the AU. She's an advocate of what. So how do we engage with international relations? And we contact our partners in South Africa to stand together as an African continent with all of these athletes that have been done, because people's physical development is always different. The way somebody from Nigeria is built is not the way somebody from a San community will be built. So how, because of my physical appearance, you want to now exclude me from that? So if it is fair, then let every lady be tested then. But I feel we need to stand up, because it's not something that they have done. They have been born like that, and we must celebrate them as such, because we are the same organizations that say don't use these things for performance enhancing, and now we're the very same people that say don't be the normal you, that we actually want you to be the normal you. So we should stop talking and then take active to support the Namibian child, the African child, and ensure that as a whole continent and as the world, we fight against these injustices.
All right. Before we conclude, is it open for spectators? I mean, the event, for spectators to come through and all? Do you invite them?
Yes, of course, we invite everybody from the Khomas region, and even those that will be visiting the region or that want to come out and come and see these talents. Of course, it's at the Windhoek Independence Stadium. There is a small fee of $20 at the gate that will then help us to ensure that we assist athletes further. So which means that we are encouraging. We have seen during the year a club from Mochinene doing excellently well. So let all of those people from those areas come and support their own. The people from the north, we have seen those clubs that are growing by number. So let's come and support our athletes, because by knowing them, we can support them better, because the talents are unlimited within this country. They just need the exposure. Now we have the youth junior, and next year we even want to bring in the under 15s, so that every child has equal opportunity to compete.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Heading into Sportify, more than 1,100 learners from 11 Namibian schools, as well as 3 schools from South Africa and Zimbabwe, will participate in the 9th edition of the Indongo Toyota Desert Sports Festival from 29 March to 1 April in Walvish Bay. It's actually already started. Now, the Desert Sports Festival is about providing an opportunity for players to compete and enjoy themselves and to build friendships among visiting schools. The first festival was held in 2014. The festival was under the management of Wynand Mormon from the year 2014 to 2015. Now, Henyan van der Heide then took over from 2016 to 2019, and Henry Kemp continued the tradition from the year 2021 to date. Our NTV crew have compiled these highlights for you.
Then the players for Trinity House are Raymond Chongorera, Ruan Smith, Yavan, Lebete, Connor, Gerasimo, and it's a throw-in. But tough defending there by Walvis Bay. Good defending, and now an interception. And it's Walvis Bay against all odds. It is Walvis Bay's Mark Lowings, inside center for Trinity House. He kicks and it's over. Running hard and straight. Very close to the try line now. Good hands, going wide. And a brilliant try. It's the second try. And the guys are getting ready to scrum. Beautiful drone shot there. Right on top of the scrum. Walvis Bay dominated that aspect of the match. And now it's Walvis Bay on the attack. Picked up by Adrian Bonsayer. Walvis Bay definitely dominating that facet of play. Good scrum work. The forwards is outstanding. As I said, you could see it in the scrums. You can also see it in the lineouts.
Yeah.
Walvis Bay is,
Yeah.
they support one another. Now look there. They draw them out. And it's Walvis Bay on the attack. Some good running there by Walvis Bay Private. And they go to the ground. A nice drone shot there from another angle. Shot from another angle.
Almost there, but I'm sure they can push through.
And there it comes eventually.
There they get their try.
Exciting action happening at the coast. Now, this is the last time you're going to see me just for today, because I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Ari Hochad as he brings us all the latest sporting news from beyond our borders. But from me, Ashwin Berry, take care, stay active.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, and starting off with tennis news first. It's the Miami Open that continues. It's the finals that's going to be played over the weekend. The best players in the world on the WTA, the women's side and the ATP men's side are playing in the tournament. Only player absent on the world rankings is Novak Djokovic. He's not playing in Miami. The reason for that is that he's not vaccinated against COVID-19, and the regulations in the USA still that he cannot enter the country. So only him that didn't play in the tournament. Number one seed in the women's, also Iga Swiatek, she withdrew with injury early in the tournament. But what's happened, the big news on the women's side of the Miami Open is that the number two seed, Aryna Sabalenka, she's out of the tournament. She won the Australian Open, and she also played in the final of the Indian Wells tournament, but she lost to Sorina Cârstea, and she is from Romania. Not a well-known player, she's unseeded, and she's through all the way to the semi-final, so a big shock. It is world number two, Aryna Sabalenka, out of the Miami Open. Still in the tournament, Jessica Pegula, she's a number 3 seed, and she will play in the semi-final against Elena Rybakina. Rybakina is the winner of the Indian Wells tournament just a few weeks ago. She also played in the final of the Australian Open, so it will be a tough game for Jessica Pegula. In the men's draw, it is Yannick Sinner that's through. He won his game in the quarterfinals against Emil Risevuru. He's from Finland. The score 6-3 and 6-1 quite comfortably. The big names also through to the quarterfinals. Daniel Medvedev, the number 4 seed. Then also world number 1, Carlos Alcaraz from Spain. He's also through to the quarterfinals. And then also Stefanos Tsitsipas of Greece. So tough competition there in the men's draw of the Miami Open. The finals will be played on Saturday and Sunday. On to rugby news. It's the European Championships that's going to continue. It's the round of 16, and the big news from the Stormers side. The Stormers play against the Harlequins from England, and it's a big game for the Stormers. They expect close to 50,000 people at the Cape Town Stadium, but not good news for them related to player availability. Ruben van Heerden, it's a new signing lock that they signed from Exeter Chiefs just a few weeks ago, a month ago. He cannot play in this competition, and the reason is that early in the competition he already played for the Exeter Chiefs, so that means that he cannot play in the competition for 2 different teams, so he cannot play for the Stormers on Saturday. Tough game for the Stormers. All the Springboks will play, all the England players also playing in the Harlequins team, and then also there's an X factor in the midfield for Harlequins. It's a former South African, or current former South African Springbok rather, Andre Esterhuizen. He's going to play in the centre for Harlequins against the players from the Stormers. Continuing international sports news with cricket news, it is the IPL. That's the biggest franchise tournament in the world, a cricket tournament that's going to start again on Friday. It's the 16th edition, and it is most of the players of England that are going to be playing in the tournament. They sought after because England is the T20 and the 50 over world champions at the moment, so players like Ben Stokes, also Josh Butler, and also Jofra Archer, high in demand and will play in this year's IPL. The Gujarat Titans won the tournament last year, and it was their first year that they played in the tournament, and they will play the first game of the tournament. They will play against the Chennai Super Kings. That will be the opening game for them on Friday. closing off today's international sports news with soccer news, and there's lots of speculation about a player from West Ham that might join Arsenal. That is Declan Rice. He is the current England midfielder. He's 25 years old, so there's speculation that he might sign for Arsenal, but also it is Chelsea and Manchester City and Manchester United looking after or trying to chase his signature. And Arsenal at the moment still leading the English Premier League. They've got a tough game at home. They're playing at home against Leeds this coming weekend on Saturday, and they're still leading with 69 points on the log, 61 points for Manchester City, and Manchester City, they play against Liverpool, a home game for them, so that's going to be a tough draw for them on Saturday. So that's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sports day, and we talk again tomorrow. Goodbye.